Hello, everybody in the live world here this Saturday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. How's everybody doing tonight? I am hyped tonight. What a mode I'm in tonight. Watch out, everybody out there. Watch out, world. And of course, on the other end, who's going to try to keep me calmed down tonight is my partner in crime, Judy. Hello, Judy out there.
Hello, John. You think I can manage that?
I have no idea. I'm uncontrollable this Saturday evening for some reason. Uncontrollable.
We'll all listen, okay?
All right. Can everybody see me? Can everybody hear me? Can everybody hear Judy? Is our first 3 questions here on our live broadcast every time. And Virginia Cruz, thanks for rejoining my paid membership site. I thank you so much for rejoining. Thank you so much. First of all, in the beginning of my shows, I got to give the shout outs to my Quest of Oak Island Templar paid members, the soldiers, the commanders, the captains, and the Grandmaster. That's the spiel here. That's some of the perks. Like I just said, I want to thank so much Virginia that rejoined yesterday. And we have Tammy and Annette and Elizabeth and Michelle and Annette and Jasdia and Wayne and Starlene and Renee Tuttle, who's our Grandmaster, and also to Judy and Barbara for all their support for me and my channel. And as usual, Judy, I thank you very much because you're live and I can tell it to you right now to now.
Thank you, John, and that's my pleasure.
Hello, Wanda and Starlene and Becky Gilmore on the YouTube side. Thank you all on the YouTube side. Of course, we have Judy Synopsis from this past Tuesday's show. She'll be getting into that for a little bit. I want to just give you a little bit of format of what we're going to talk about. Obviously, we're going to talk about the show this past Tuesday night. We're also going to be talking about the Eye of the Swamp. Hi, Gary from Australia. Thanks for coming in. And we're also going to talk about the so-called cannon, fire, pin, ammunition thing that goes on top of a cannon. I have answers. I have answers. Hello, Carlene. Thanks for coming in. So our format will be the synopsis, last week's show. We'll get into the Eye of the Swamp. But before the format of last week's show, we'll start with the cannon item that Carmen dissected to say what it was. And then we'll go into the show. I must have about 30 screenshots. Hello, Josh, on the YouTube side. Thanks for joining my show. Thank you so much. Judy, I must have 30 screenshots, if not more.
We got a long night ahead of us.
Oh, hello, Tom. Thanks for coming in. Michelle, thanks for coming in. Yep, Tom Burns, I'm all wound up tonight. Wound up tight. But, and don't forget also, you guys, on my group, Renee Tuttle runs the image section of all things Oak Island. If something inspires you by the Oak Island mystery and you want to make something or show us something, please don't be afraid. Look what I do. I do my stupid little toys and stuff like that, but I just wanted to put something out there to give you guys a heads up on, hey, if she accepts my little thing, so, it's not that hard to do. A lot of people like it, and a lot of people have respect in my group, and that's what I like. You know what I mean, Judy?
Yes, and we do respect each other greatly, don't we?
Yep. So whatever they put out there, and even the theorists, or I'm getting a lot of people now, Judy, crossing over from YouTube to my Facebook page And they have their own little items, their own little theories. They're fine to explain whatever they want to say in their theory. But I will not link their YouTube channel. The only YouTube channels are on my channel are myself, obviously, Jake Roberts, my main man. Very, 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 very few. So I'm not linking a lot of YouTubers that are coming over for them to promote their site. So that's sort of my rules. You know what I mean, Judy?
Right, exactly. And that's your rule, and we stick by it, John.
Right. Hello, Anthony. How's it going? Nice and warm today, Anthony, here where I live. Hello, Mary. Thanks for coming in. Hello, Cindy. Cindy always keeps a close eye on me, Judy, when I put like a cartoon up or I put not a cartoon, my little shovelers. But Cindy, don't you notice my Valvo digger?
Yes.
That's the scale. It's got Valvo on it. I mean, Billy's in the Valvo. You got to give me a little credit there. Hello, Maureen. Thanks for coming in. I got to find the little Miriam figurine to put around the swamp and the rocks and all that. You know what I mean, Judy?
Yeah, don't forget it. You can't leave us women out,
Nope. No, God, no. God, no. And of course, I want to thank Tammy and Judy and Renee and Michelle for helping me out in this group, not only in the Quest side of Facebook, on the YouTube side. I thank you so much.
Welcome.
Hello, Barbara Perry, another great supporter. Thank you so much for coming in, Barbara. Judy, this woman is fantastic. I can tell you that firsthand.
Well, I have no doubt. I've talked to her a little bit, and she sure seems like it. So, but I think everybody in our group is.
Yep, and Cindy says it's a dirty job, but somebody has to do it. Yep, Cindy, you got to keep me straight and narrow in case my regular gang slip up. And my main man, the Quest historian master, is in the house, Daniel Spino. Hello, sir.
Hi, Daniel.
I think we only got about, you put your post up yesterday, we only got about 12,500 in about 8 or 9 hours. You're slipping up on me a little bit. You're doing fantastic, Daniel. It's just unbelievable how many people are reading your statements and comments. And I told them you would answer them in the comment section, and I appreciate every second you give to me and to my members. I thank you so much. Yup, Tom. He's the master. He's the Quest historian master. That's my title to him. If they had some kind of thing on these Facebook things or YouTubes that I can give people's titles to, that would be his title. Not just a moderator, but a Quest historian master. He's just fantastic. All righty. Well, the room is filling up, and we'll start the show going. Let me find Judy's picture. So now I have a ton of pictures on my Be Live staging area. This way I can show you guys, because I can't go back and forth from the group to Be Live. I got to preload all these pictures on the streaming service so I can show you. You imagine that, Judy?
No, I don't even want to think about it. Thank you.
And hello, Chris. Donna is in the house. I thank you so much for coming in. And Linda, thank you so much. Okay, Judy, where are you? I got you. So, Judy, whenever you're ready, you're on. Thank you so much, Judy.
Okay, thank you. Hey, everybody. It's good to be here as usual. And, well, everyone, we left the swamp in ship-shape order on Tuesday night, and the pun is intended. We will be sitting on the edge of our seats for the last few episodes, hoping they do not leave us hanging. Let's see what they found. It's a new day on Oak Island, and with only a month left for this year's dig, Rick and Steve arrive at Smith's Cove. Charles and Terry are drilling at the site of the Behringer survey at hole NF1. The survey was found in Dan's papers, and Dan found what looks like 4 spots of non-ferrous metal, and the team is looking for that metal. While they continue to drill at the swamp, Alex, Miriam, and Aaron are digging on the pathway to find where it's going. They have found what looks like a corner that turns to the uplands. As Billy digs with his excavator to find the elbow in the road, Gary's metal detector goes off. David digs up a military cuff button for a shirt or jacket. Gary believes it is from 1750 to 1850, which is before the finding of the money pit. They will clean it up and research it to get the date of it and the nationality. Gary's beeper goes off again, and Miriam digs up what Gary says looks like a part of a fire grate. He believes it could go back to Roman days. The following day at the research center, Doug, Marty, and Laird are going over some artifacts found in Dan's basement. One looks like a hand-forged latch and was found by Dan in 1970. To Carmen's it goes. That afternoon at the swamp, Miriam finds a piece of flintlock from the 1600s. It will go to the lab for testing. Another day has dawned, and Rick and Steve have arrived at drill hole NF1. At first, the dirt looks solid enough for tunneling, but at 79 feet, they find crumbled till, so they will move to NF2. Later that day, Doug and Scott arrive at Carmen's shop with the artifact from Dan's basement. Carmen declares it unique and a layered metal. It's very old, from a large cannon from the Middle Ages. He then finds gunpowder inside it. Returning to the research center, Doug and Scott fill Marty in on this artifact. And Marty says, Dan is still helping us, and I think that's a great thought. And he wants them to research it some more. It's morning, and in the swamp, Gary finds a piece of pottery that Aaron says is from the 1760s and looks to be French. It's a good find for getting more information. Back at Smith's Cove, Gary and Charles are at 134 feet in hole NF2. They find no tunnel and no artifacts, so this drill is called. Later, in the war room, the team are discussing the drilling at Smith's Cove. They decide after 2 shots and nothing found, they will move back to the money pit. Rick says this door is not closed. That afternoon, in the southeastern corner of the swamp, Billy removes the muck as far down as 9 feet. When he hits the bottom, he finds he cannot go deeper and something is in the way. Doug pulls up what looks like a finished piece of wood. They all agree it is shaped like the railing off of a ship. They call Rick. Doug finds another piece of wood with a square hole in it that the fastener would have gone through. Steve says this is 10 feet below sea level. Is this the ship? Rick declares we have to find what's in the way, whatever it takes. Since it is so late in the day, they will come back tomorrow with a plan. Yeah, members, all is ship-shape in the swamp. See you all next week, and stay safe, please.
Thank you so much, Judy. Very good. Fantastic detail. I thank you so much.
Thank you. You're welcome.
And obviously, this will be posted to the Facebook group, the Quest of Oak Island, with my 71,800 some odd members, for them all to read later on, Judy. I always put it right next to my nightstand against the lamp because you know me, I'll forget.
Well, I'm glad that that you do put it on, because I sure get some nice comebacks, and I appreciate that so much.
Everybody's saying thanks all the way down the line. Yep, she's
I-
my synopsis woman here.
Thanks, guys. Right now on this lockdown, guys, you mean a lot to me because you helped me get through it.
Right. Also, I want you to remind them about the COVID situation up there, just to keep on reminding people what's going on up there. Judy, thank you.
Okay, well, in Ontario, I hope Tom Burns can help us out for Nova Scotia, but in Ontario, our numbers have gone up greatly. So we are in full lockdown. We can go to the grocery store and the pharmacy or the doctors. We cannot have more than 5 people together. If you do cross the border coming by land, then you have to quarantine for 2 weeks, and you have to have a test at the border. My daughter is just finishing up her 2 weeks. She just moved back home. And on Tuesday night at midnight, she will be free. She can't wait to come see her mother. So that's what we're doing in Ontario right now. And I do know that in Nova Scotia, they did have a few more numbers today, but maybe Tom can tell us, because it is different from Ontario.
Right, Judy. What about people are asking about the shots availability up there for shots? Go ahead, Judy.
Well, I get mine on the 27th of this week, or of this month, and it's going constantly. I think they're down to about 60 years old now and up. So it's just a constant thing, and we have to wait our turn.
Okay, I thank you so much, Judy, for all that information. I thank so much.
You're welcome.
Okay, here. Let me scroll on the bottom here. Bear with me, guys. I have so many pictures.
All right, we've got Gary O'Connor here from Australia, and he says that they did a hard border closing, and that helped very much. And I know it did because I have a niece there that says the same thing. Thanks, Gary.
And Tom Burns says New Brunswick has some challenges in Pacific areas. I think Nova Scotia is doing pretty well. No changes to the Atlantic bubble have been announced. Thank you so much, Tom. So we got the whole Canada covered. I thank you guys for letting new people know. I mean, we hear it all the time, but Judy, there's so many new people coming in and out like a revolving door here that a lot of people don't hear it.
Right, exactly.
All right, Judy, I'm going to take your picture off, and here we go.
All righty. I'm ready.
Yep, just stay with me on the phone. If I lose you, come back in.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Okay, guys out there, members. Hello, Pam Block. Thanks for coming in. Thank you. The hottest topic that hit me about 3 or 4 hours ago was this Canon type of item, which Carmen said there was gunpowder in there. I don't know if it's been tested. I'm pretty sure they'll have it tested. So I'm going to bring up this picture. On the left, on the right is the item we were shown. And on the left is like a support system for a bucket. Now, the bucket could have been filled of gunpowder. This is not saying there is no cannon around. But I wish before they make determinations, they would see people in a Pacific area to actually have maybe 3 opinions on what this is. But as they film as they go. You know what I mean, Judy? What they see is what we see.
Right, exactly. Yeah, it would be nice if they could do more than one opinion.
But, it's also got to be show worthy. So talking about a cannon is a lot more appealing for ratings and everything else than talking about a bucket. You know what I mean, Judy?
I agree with you, John, and I don't think it's necessary for them to do this in order to keep us interested. Those of us that are going to stay with the show, we don't need to have this kind of thing going on.
Right. But a lot of the times, our feedback is being heard. That's all I can tell you guys. Our feedback is being heard.
Good.
It's up to the producers. I mean, it's over with now. I mean, this season's over with. I mean, everything's in the can, as they would say. But they're hearing us, and certain people are forwarding our messages to them, hopefully. Also, in this time period, the cannons made in this time period, listen to me, members. You follow me? Don Brent, you follow me? This cannon in this time period was cast in one piece. Let me repeat that. The cannons made in this time period were cast in one piece. No pieces on top, no pieces on the bottom. I'm not saying the stand that holds the cannon. All right, guys? I'm saying the firing mechanism, the cannon itself was one solid piece. And my source, who I'm very close to and trust, says this piece they're showing us did not come off a cannon. Period. Kathy, hi from Long Island. I'm anxious to find out if the ship was scuttled in the swamp. What are your thoughts? Right now, if they're showing us, I might be a little negative tonight, but I'm always to the positive side. But I call it as I see it, guys. This is the way I am. If they're showing us a bucket support, then it should be sort of researched and shown to the public as much. If they're showing us a lipstick tube, it should be well noted. If they're showing us a gold doorknob from the beginning of the season, which I was embarrassed because I pumped that myself through my group, I thought, okay, and it was a doorknob or a knob to a jewelry drawer, they got Johnny crazy. So tonight, about 4 hours ago, my brain is fried. What do you think, guys? What do you think, Judy?
Calm down, John.
Yes, Don Bretz, when I asked, does this include signal cannons? Not disputing, just asking. I understand. All your questions are viable over here. Just let them go. The person told me the cannons made in this time period are one piece. Sure, go ahead, Google it, search it, and everything else. But the time period they're saying, what did Carmen say? The 1400s or the middle of 1400s?
Yes.
Okay. He didn't say 1600. He didn't say 1500. What did he say? The middle of the 1400s. The historian master, Daniel Spino, that's it. The cannons at that period were solid. Now, the period they're saying, I think what they're talking about when he told me is the 1400 to 1450 period. You know what I mean, Judy?
Yes, okay.
It's not, I'm not going any farther than the 1500s, 1515, 1600s. Nope. I'm just going at the 1450 or 1400s because they try to bring everything back and they try to bring everything back, towards the Templars. I understand that. But they know that a group like mine, and there's all groups all over, Judy,
Right.
when they post things like this, they know. I myself, I try to Google or search, well, is it or isn't it? Now, I've been a isn't or isn't it since season 1. Well, what is this thing? So I make a screenshot, take a look at it, ask you guys. And Daniel says, I agree, John. Cannon of the time was one piece, especially a ship's cannon. Yeah, yeah. Wherever they put the fire to light the charcoal was just a hole in the barrel or the back of the barrel. I'm not an expert on cannons, but there was no top piece, side piece. And I'm not talking about the stand and the wheels and the structure to hold up this heavy, heavy, heavy cannon. Just talking about the cannon itself. And Tom Burns, my first thought it was a hinge bracket. Yep. And also, I was telling people, and also that Dan Blankenship tested a lot. He tested wood, he tested items right along. If he thought this piece was important when he took it out of the swamp 50 years ago, he's no dummy. He's a very smart man. And the old timers knew what they were doing. He would have had this tested instead of putting it in a zip bag and throwing it in the cabinet 50 years ago. There's a reason why. But the only thing I can think, if Carmen found black powder in this stuff, guys, that maybe this type of bracket on a bucket maybe held some gunpowder in it. But the Tom Burns or Daniel, what do you think of the keg barrel pieces that they found also in the swamp? Could the keg barrel pieces, those two different diameter pieces we saw, right, Judy?
Yes, yes.
Could that be part of this hinged bucket?
Could very well be, John.
And then Barbara
Well,
says, if it was not nothing, he wouldn't have got rid of it, not kept it. No, he was a hoarder. Dan Blankenship kept everything, Barbara, no matter what he found. If it wasn't significant to him, he would still file it away. He wouldn't throw anything away. That's how I get perception from him, Judy. What do you think about Dan Blankenship keeping stuff?
Yeah, I think so too. I think it's all there.
Chris Simpson from Bellway P. I'm sorry if I missed it, but what do you think it is? A hinge? It's a support system for a top of a bucket. Not sure if it's part of the keg pieces of wood they have found, like a wooden bucket. We've seen buckets that they put on cable lines to get rid of fill. You remember those pictures, Judy?
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of digging going on there, so a lot of buckets. And some people say, well, why is the hole so big? Well, if you're carrying a bucket or the bucket strapped on an oxen or something, that bucket's swinging, 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 and that hole is going to get elongated, with the weight that's in the bucket and wear out. What do you think, Judy?
Yeah, I agree with you. I do.
Yeah, Maureen, the only way I can tie it in the gunpowder is it was a bucket of gunpowder. But then we got to get it tested. Is it gunpowder? Number one. I have no idea. And Daniel Spino, John, if it was a significant piece, it would have been known in the Island Museum, I would think. Yep, Daniel, right next to the scissors. I got you. But what I'm saying is, we're going to give them a break this year with the COVID. I've said this all year long, Judy.
Yes.
And I would have not loved, but appreciate maybe next year if they get the information from all our big groups here to say, hey, these guys are on the ball out there, you're going to be losing viewers, not the hardcore viewers like us, but the regular people that want to tune in and get entertained. That might be a different story. But
we get that a lot, don't we? On chat on our page, people tired of the show.
Yep. A
But
lot
they
of
keep watching.
yep. Because they give you the hook at the end. They give you the hook at the end. But
Yes.
but people are getting away and they're starting to shy away. But I would have rather have a shortened season of facts and details, because that's the way I am probably. Then if they know they're getting into the stretched area, or not show these pieces to the right people before they just get an opinion and go with it. So everybody gets so hyped up and then let down. The roller coaster, the Oak Island roller coaster, go up and go down and go up and go down. I'd rather have a shortened season, to the point, in details, than this stuff that's going on right now.
I agree. I do.
So, guys, that was my spiel on the not so canon piece. The cannons were made solid, one piece at that time area. That's a confirmed. And the piece is not from a cannon. That is confirmed. So there you go. Imagine when they show me the piece of wood in the bottom of the swamp, what I'm going to do.
Really? I hope they do it this year.
Okay, Linda, let me read Linda's statement. I know I was going to fire up somebody around here. We keep forgetting that there were people living on the island, correct. So it doesn't surprise me a doorknob is found or a lipstick tube is found. It's still unknown, like this cannon or rails with square holes, but the items from 1400 and back, well, surprise me. The hinges from chests or doors on a ship. This swamp has a key to the island, and there should be a show about them talking about the items found. Yeah, but Linda, I'm saying, sure, there's people on the island. Sure, we're finding some surface finds. But don't make the gold doorknob look like a piece of gold that, okay, we're finally hitting gold. Don't make the lipstick look like, oh my God, it's a king's thing or something. Sure, talk about it. But this don't hype me. And if I get hyped on this stuff when I see gold on this show, everybody gets hyped. You know what I mean?
Linda, I think one of the things John really bugged him was about the gold doorknob was that they had us all thinking it was a piece of gold. And so we lived for that for weeks and then found out it wasn't.
And Chris Simpson, do you think because of COVID, they focus mostly on ratings since they were shortened rather than facts? Keep it real, John. That's why I continue to follow your page. I'm as real as they get. I mean, I don't edit. What you see right here, it's on the internet forever because I just speak what's on my mind. And if I'm wrong, I'm the first to admit it and the first to correct it. Well, I'm sort of you guys' voice to the higher ups out there. They do listen to us. What they do, I have no idea. Ratings means dollars. We all love the show, as you know. And we keep on watching because we're hardcore. But please, next season, we gave you a break this season. So imagine what I'm going to do to you people, this show next year. And I'm a positive guy about the show. I mean, I was always called the Marty of the show. I mean, I need the proof. I need it in my hand, not my hand, but I need the proof. Enough data. You can store data to the moon. Doesn't mean nothing if we haven't found anything. In 8 years, what treasure have we found? Surface finds, jewels, dates to see who's there. But you tell me in 8 years, not the treasure of the history and all the statistics. What treasure have we found in 8 years that really tie it in? Nothing. We're still looking. Surface finds, yes. People drop things, yes. The cross, yes. Okay, we're finding out the history and all that. Put that to the side right now. What have we found? Of course, more questions than answers. What are bones doing down 160 feet? If they buried anything, why are they burying something 150 feet deep? But what have we found in 226 years as far as a treasure? Not including, everybody's has that friendship and fellowship. Like Dave would say, not one expendable, except for history and surface finds.
Andy Lee says we found each other, and Andy, you're right.
Yep, and Chris says, yeah,
so important.
Yep, the cross is the best clue they have. Yeah, the iron cross. Yeah. I think, Chris, if they didn't find that iron cross on the beach, the show would be private. What do you think, Chris? What do you think, Judy?
Well, and also Nolan's cross. We have both crosses. But yeah, those are the two most important things I think they found.
Right, but say they didn't find the iron cross on the beach. What would have happened? I think it was a big, big deal as far as the show going on, in my opinion.
Yes.
And then Anthony, of course, I know Anthony would say that the treasure is the history of the island and who visit there and the items that were left behind. I hear you, Anthony. I knew that answer was coming, but, I'm just saying, oh, my lordy, lordy, it's time to find something. And we haven't found it. And we haven't found a thing. Yep,
right. Daniel says it would be a different show without the cross, and he's right.
Yep, Daniel won the prize. Yeah, I think just Rick and Marty would go on their business and go forward and just go from there. Right, Chris. They haven't used Nolan's cross at all yet, or McGinnis Foundation. And then we find out at Sam Ball's property, I guess they find a door underneath. But that's all I wanted to say. I got hyped up about the bucket handle support, and now I'm calming down a little bit, Judy.
Yeah, good. We're glad. We don't want you to have a heart attack or anything.
All righty. Here we go, guys. Let's get into the show a little bit. Hello, Renee Tuttle. Thanks for coming in. All righty. Everybody see this picture on the old B Live streaming service? I know there's a delay.
There it is.
Like, you up, Michelle? They went back to the Behringer survey, like Judy said. They did 2 test holes. They came up empty. Yep, Tom Burns, maybe 8 years, but it took us 400 years to figure this much out. Yeah. So here's the location of the drill point in front of the pit there, cave-in pit, just to show you location, Judy, of where the drill was.
Right, okay.
Go on to the next one. I did so many pictures, guys, I don't even know what I put in here. All righty, there's another picture, I guess, of the second hole that they drilled. You see that spot closer to you, and then they moved over to another spot, Judy.
Right. Yeah, number 2.
No, Gary, that's a cave-in pit. It's not a sinkhole. They dug down through that. Yeah, I think it was a sinkhole, then they dug down through it. There's that button Judy was saying, and what was that, in the 1700s somewhere, Gary said? Let me see. A cuff button, 1750 to 1850.
Yes.
And Pam Black, we like pictures. So do I, Pam. So do I. So they found this thing that they got to clean up, this cuff button. And here's the package that the supposed Canon piece, I'll call it, was found in Dan Blankenship's office. They're still finding things in that office. I'd be in that office, like I said before, when I came on Friday, until the cows came home, until there was nothing left. There'd be pizza boxes in there. I'd have like a 3-month beard going on until I found everything in that Dan Blankenship's office. It just boggles me.
Tom Burns says button. Who dropped the button?
Yep. And there's a picture of the swamp looking out towards the bay. I see that excavator way up on top. It doesn't look like they're near Mercy Point. I was trying to look for Nolan's Cross, top rock over the garage. But we are going to talk about the eye of the swamp after this presentation. I think it's important.
Chris Dona says, in that last picture with the yellow or orange tanker truck, there is a boulder on the other side of the cave.
Hold on, Chris. Let me go back.
Yeah, you read it, John.
All right, ready? There's a boulder on the other side of the cave-in pit that I found when I was there in 2016. Well, I don't see it. It's in there somewhere, but do you see it, Judy, or no?
I think I can, John. It's on the right. Didn't you say the right? Right. You can hardly see it though. Just behind some trees.
Okay. Yep, Daniel.
I hope I got.
Yep, Daniel. I'd have a cot in the office too.
Yes, that one he says.
Okay. If you follow the tail end of the tanker, it leads right to it. Okay, I see it right there, right in front of that Christmas tree, right in the bottom of that Christmas tree, whatever it is.
Yeah. Yes.
Wayne, above the drill, that's their table. That's their dissecting table above the drill. That white thing is a table. This way we all got our bearings. All righty, Chris. Good deal. Good deal. This was a piece of the flint rock that they found. What's it for? Musket guns or whatever they do. I have no idea about ammo. I have no idea about rifles, guns, or anything like that. I have no idea. So flint to make the spark. There's another picture that she found. Piece of flint. Michael, if they did not find something significant in the swamp where they would find where the ship's plank, I doubt they would just bury it after filming. Well, they got to restore everything back to normal, Michael. And then redig it and re-permit and everything else. You know what I mean, Judy?
Right. I'm wondering if he's thinking that maybe some of the stuff was planted. If I'm wrong, tell me. But I don't think they would do that for sure.
No, there's no planting here. Whatever we see, and find, we find. And say, they say, as we can find out today. They just say, and just like me. They're like me, but on TV, and 3.5 million people watch them. They just say and put it out there and go with it, I guess. And Tom Burns, they have to bury it to preserve it. Right, Tom, right. You're right. And this is where their first hole was on the Behringer survey, where they tried 2 holes. And this is part of the Behringer survey, which is about when they dug out Smith's Cove, was 6.1 feet below sea level. And there's a supposedly tunnel system that's in there. Obviously, nothing that was scanned revealed these tunnels. And what I said way back when was, if the tunnels are collapsed, Judy,
Yes.
the radar will not pick up a collapsed tunnel because the void is filled in with dirt, rubble, and wood.
Right.
And Tom Burns, NF equals nothing to find. I love it. Tom, you're right on the ball. Mary, the permit for Smith's Cove was for a year. I believe maybe the permit for the swamp is for a year as well. Okay, Linda, be safe down there in Florida. Those crazy spring storms, I hear you.
Oh, be safe, Linda.
Come back when you can. Ready? My next, hope I don't repeat the same thing here. I leave them in case we have to go back. You know what I mean, Judy?
Yes, gotcha.
I don't delete them right away because all of a sudden, Judy, the minute I delete something, you know what happens?
You need it.
Yeah, remember that picture you just showed? Oh, man, I just deleted it out of BeLive. Let me see if I showed this one. Okay, guys, be safe.
Whoa.
Be safe down in South there. Be safe down there.
Yeah, a lot of them are getting it.
Alrighty. Now, Tom Burns always asks me about elevations. And as being a surveyor, if you look on this map, and I didn't circle it, the elevation shows me 6 point, what's got a minus 6.1. You see that big heavy black line on top of my box there, on top of the corner of my box? You see that heavy black line?
Yes.
Now go up to that first box and you'll see like a blue circle. Right there it says elevation minus 6.1. And that's right in front of the gravel pit. You guys see all that?
Yes.
So I just wanted to tell you guys, you read maps, you can get elevations. And then near the cave-in pit, it says water level of 3.83, and so on. Down in the lower bottom, it says elevation 4.7. So as we go up, obviously, from Smith's Cove, the elevation goes up. Hello, Gary Nelson. Thanks for coming in. But, people ask me about elevations, so I always mark down the elevations also, Tom. I'm talking to Tom Burns, I guess. Because we know the elevation of the cobblestone road is 18 inches above sea level. And if we know Smith's Cove is 6.1 feet below sea level, this is when all this started. When, Judy? When the sea level was 6 feet lower.
Right.
So if it was...
It's hard for me to remember that, too.
So if it's 6.1 feet at Smith's Cove, that's our basis. So that's what I want to show you guys, how I got the elevations just by reading maps. It's right out there if you can read them. And that's why I'm here for you guys. Got it, Judy? And this is just the picture of showing a closer picture of where they are at on the right-hand side of the pathway. You see that, Judy?
Yes, I do, John.
Okay.
It gives us a better view of it.
And there's the second hole that they did at the Behringer survey when Judy said in detail, well, they came up empty-handed. So they went back to the money pit. There's again where it shows the cave-in pit, the big circle in the middle, and where they're doing them drill points when we saw it Tuesday night. And here's part of the thing that I don't think people realize, the sausage casing. I call it the sausage casing when they drill and they put the samples in that plastic and throw it on the table. You know what I mean, Judy?
Yes.
So here is what they're saying is the crumbly gravel or whatever in front and the white gypsum below, there's no way they can tunnel that because you'd have to crimp it solid. You just can't put supports left and right and on the top. You would have to put a whole tunnel system in. You know what I mean, Judy?
Right, exactly. So you wonder what Dan did see there.
Mm-hmm. Very good, Chris. I just got your message, but I can't send it over to the guys live right now. I appreciate it. I'll put it in the group later. Thank you so much. Harry Javokos, how do we call? Well, I'm not going to take calls right now. Only call when you see the scrolling number. When you see the scrolling number below, that's when I accept calls. All right, Harry, I thank you so much. So you see the gypsum in the low dirt. It's just not tunnelability. Is that a word? Tunnelability? Oh my God, Judy. And that's why they moved on from that site. And there's my man Steve with the scepter, the GPS. And there they are going about the swamp with the long reach swamp excavator. And here's when they started digging that 10-foot hole in the swamp. And this is where they found the piece of wood. If you can look in the bucket, look straight down, you'll see that piece of wood in the bucket in the dirt. You see that, Judy?
Yes, clearly.
Alrighty, that's for that bunch. How are we doing out there? All right so far? We'll take some calls in a little while.
It's going good.
Alrighty. Steve is cool. Yep. I talk to him all the time. He's fantastic. Andy Lee, do we think the boulders that make the stone pathway came from the boulderless beach? No, they said they don't come from the boulderless beach. They come from the uplands. That's all I got for you, Andy. That's all I got. And here's Scott looking at this piece of finished wood, or railing or whatever. And like I said, every year, if I had a swamp on my land, I would throw all my garbage in there. So that I get to decipher what's good, what's bad, and that's when the dating comes in. You know what I mean, Judy?
Yeah, that's why it's important.
Yeah, yeah. Yep, Tom Burns says the ground is full of rocks, so there can be multiple sources in the uplands. Yeah. Yeah, I have no idea, but that's what they told us, so we go by what they told us. Kathy says, I feel part of the tunneling was for finding materials or something versus just hiding something. Yes, all the ideas are out there. But does the wood look too smooth? Yeah, it looks like a finished hand railing. And Chris, it was a garbage dump, sure. For 226 years. That's why we need the dates. We need precise details, not just picking things out of the swamp and saying it's this and that. Please. Oh, my lordy 40. It's driving me crazy. Uh-oh, Chris is getting me wound up again, Judy.
Thanks, Chris.
Now, this is an animation when they think it was a wharf and they think the water went right through both islands. So ships, small ships, big ships, I have no idea, which it makes sense to me that at one time, because we know Dr. Spooner said the swamp was man-made in when? 1220, they closed the doors. Yeah, Daniel, there was a spot on Fred Nolan's land that they dug a trench and found some plates, pieces, cup pieces. That was supposedly the dump. And Tom Birds, could the finished wood be part of the 3 chests Fred Nolan claimed to have found? I have no idea. I have no idea. Could have been part of Daniel McGinnis's house. That was huge. Where'd all that material go?
Right.
You sometimes talk about the spoils that were piled up in one space. Yeah. Yep. But right here, give you the idea. If it was a waterway that go between the 2 islands, they would need the stone paveway on the bottom to offload and off the top part also. But then in my mind, in 1220, this is the only way before 1220 that the water would be deep enough. Because once they closed it off, the thing would have a trickle like a creek because the water was down 6 feet. You guys agree with me? You know what I mean, Judy?
Yes, exactly. So if a ship was left in there, then they would have to burn it if they didn't want it found.
Right. Right. It was stuck there. They couldn't get it out. But this is after they drained it, you know what I mean?
Right.
Or how they did it when they closed it off, I have no idea. Gary says, I'm an underground miner. The day-to-day difficulties we have with the state-of-the-art equipment is crazy. What the builders had to do to get done would have been extraordinary. Not just the work-wise, but time-wise, considering you only have a certain amount of time a year, season, to get it done. Yep, and the tools they used, and the manpower. I just shake my head. Yes, Daniel, they don't know if it was 3 chests or 3 bags when I talked to Joan McGinnis. Or the hand-me-down story, how I got lost in that, I don't know. And right, Tom, the swamp could be all washed in because, guys and members, the opening of the swamp, there was never no road there. So once they closed it off in 1220 to 2020, I don't know when they did the road, I can't remember. When they closed it off, collected everything. I hear you. So this is to show people maybe what it looked like. And here they are starting to dig down in the swamp area. And here I just wanted to show you how much seismic testing, over 2,000 items were blasted away in the swamp. Even though it says it's not good for shallow, only good for depth. So I guess that's why it never showed up the stone paved way or the little small paved way, or now 10 feet below these big support beams below. They showed us an anomaly, but that's all they showed. And here's what they showed. They didn't show us anything else but this. No stone paveway on the top, no stone paveway on the bottom, no nothing but this. You guys remember this, Judy?
Oh, clearly, yeah. how excited we all got.
Yep. Now, don't forget, guys. I'm long in the tooth here tonight, Judy. I also have pictures of they did float a drill rig over all these spotted areas. Let me repeat that. They floated a drill rig over the supposedly ship. They found no wood. They found no charcoal. Not unless it was deeper than, I don't know the depth they went. They knew the anomaly was between 10 feet and 50 feet deep. That's what it told them. You know what I'm saying, guys? Judy?
Right, exactly.
They know it from all their testing. It's 10 foot or 50 feet below the surface. So if they drilled all holes, say 100 feet, and came up with nothing, what does this tell us, guys? Not unless they're not telling us something. I got pictures that I'll be showing you of the drill rig doing all test drills. I don't know what season it is because my mind is burnt tonight. And Tom says 50 foot is shallow for seismic as well. But they came up with this anomaly and they did drill it and we came up empty. And there it is there. I always go by the roadway to get direction. And Fred Nolan's Peninsula. You see Fred Nolan's Peninsula there, Judy?
Yes, clearly.
When he did that, at the end of that peninsula is a shaft. Because I remember him at the end of that peninsula when they were digging over there was all kinds of wood coming up with. And I tried to find it before I came on live, but I was just too tired and not too well until I came on. And this is that piece of smooth wood that they call a railing. I have no idea what this thing is. But now with the bucket handle, I don't know which way to go here. And here's the hole they're digging, their test hole to go deeper. I understand what Steve's doing. He went 10 feet down below sea level, and then he can make cross sections and make a 3D map how this looked 10 foot below in the early days, Judy.
Wow, that's great that they can do that.
Yeah, this new technology. Like in Rome, they have a couple of columns, but when you survey the column and do site research and history, you can design that whole building the way it was in the year whatever ever. You know what I mean, Judy?
Wow, that's amazing to me.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. And I was just trying to get a determination where they were at this time. I know where they are digging, but this is what I was looking for. Whereabouts is this hole? You know what I mean, Judy?
Yes.
And I wanted to get my bearings again. Like we always get lost. Okay, where are they? I always look for a bearing to go off of, like the road or the peninsula or something to get my bearings, because this could be in the middle of who the heck knows where. Now, this is my first picture. If you look on the bottom, you'll see where the road is. They're only maybe 40 feet less off from the road where they did this test pit. Yep, Kathy, we all are looking for a ship here, but don't get your hopes up that high. We got to have science talk. You know what I mean, Judy? Science and common sense.
Yeah, we do.
Science and common sense. Bring that big piece of wood up down there. Pump that hole out. Get a piece of that wood. Get it dated, which I think is just a support system for a wharf. Because at that end, remember, there was no road there. There was no embankment there. That's in the front of the swamp. So obviously in the front of the swamp, you would have some kind of support system, and then you put down your paved area in the mucky system, and then put down the cribbing, the stones, and a wood decking on top, or if the oxen just drug wooden skis, sleds. Some people say they just used it for timber at the time because the British loved the old oak on the island, and they shipped it back to the UK to use for shipbuilding, Judy. I hear it all, you know what I mean?
Yes, I remember reading that.
Yep, because it could be that island was full of oak trees, prime wood, you know what I mean? Prime.
Yes.
Am I boring you guys so far or no?
No, you're doing good.
Yep, Wanda, they did find an 18-foot board. Yep, it could have been washed in. Could have been washed in. Don't forget, when Smith's Cove was made with the U-shaped structure and everything, let me just put this out there. Where's all that stuff? Where did it all go? That structure. All the boards and wood you see smashed off and everything. That could have made a little right-hand turn, and the swamp could have swallowed that stuff up with no road. You know, with the tides coming in and the tides going out. You know what I mean, Gary? You know what I mean, Judy?
Yeah, I do, John.
I mean, how much?
And I think it's okay for us to question it too.
Right. And oh my God, do I have questions and no answers? I hate it, you know?
You do, don't you?
But when you looked at Smith's Cove and you saw the bottom big pieces, those huge pieces that Laird had beautiful pictures of it at ground level, you didn't realize how big that stuff was. Not from the drone. This was right from Laird's photos. Do you see that, Judy?
Yes.
There had to be some type of structure there. Some of it had to go around and go into the swamp and sink into the swamp. Because don't forget, the elevation was 6.1 feet below sea level. So when the tide came in, I don't know how the tide came in and out and all that, in and out, it brings in a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff. Cindy, it would help if you would say Island Road or Cobble Road, as I'm looking in the wrong area. There goes Sydney. Cindy, she's after me, Judy.
Look out, John.
She's the toughest. I usually call the Cobble Road the paved area, or the Cobble Road the paved area, or my foundation, Sydney. And I'll call the road, the one that goes past the swamp. Does that make sense, Judy?
Yes, it does. The one they use every day.
Yeah, the one they drive on is the road that you can see him right here. That's how close the hole is. I wanted to show you the guy standing there, the road, and the hole they're digging is no more than 40 feet away from the road. And you see way up on top where the peninsula is. If that tractor backed up a couple of more feet, they would be in the southeast corner of the swamp, where they picked that swamp to put a cofferdam in. So put all the pieces together. Why are they putting a cofferdam of all places in the swamp? Not at Mercy Point, not at the eye of the swamp, but way down on the southeast portion of the swamp. I'll let you think about that for a while. Yeah, Wayne, thank you. Access road, thank you. Yeah, Tom, I don't think there's no swamp. No swamp. There's no ship in there. My own personal opinion, guys. There's a better, darker picture to show you. I'm trying to show you the peninsula way up on top. You see it, Judy?
It hasn't switched yet, John.
Not ready.
There you go. Yep, I do.
You see that island sticking out, and look where the tractor is. It's sort of backed up.
Yes.
Because people were telling me, well, it's way above. It's past the peninsula. It's where the anomaly is. The anomaly is not even close to this thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, right.
The anomaly is near the peninsula up there, up and to the left. In my own opinion, though. In my own opinion. I like to do side-by-side shows and everything, but then I'd never get off the computer 24/7 over here. So I try to I try to limit myself because I'm doing a lot of work here and it's sometimes gets difficult. And Virginia says, yeah, there might be a tunnel there. That's where they're putting the cofferdam. Yeah, they put the cofferdam in there to dig deeper. You know what I mean, Judy?
Yes. Yes, to see if there is a tunnel.
Correct. And that's what the cofferdam does. Otherwise, all that muck will just keep on falling in on you. And here's where I try to just outline where Fred's peninsula is, the road, and where the tractor is. So they're real close to the access road. And there's the black US SUV. There's the whole swamp going to the left, and they're way to the right. And there's all the guys filming and walking all over the place. I don't even see them walking on plywood out there. You'd think there'd be like quicksand out there, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maureen, do we know if they had time to put in the cofferdam? No. They're still stored there, Maureen. They're still stored, waiting to go. Waiting to go. So this set of pictures was for where we are located with this 10-foot hole that they found that round log. Okay, Judy?
Yes. You could see it very clearly.
Yep. Because I think there's a running stream out of there, Jane, a running spring. It never dries out. And also, hint, hint, blue clay. What the heck grows in blue clay? Try to grow a tomato plant in blue clay. See what you get. Yep, Wayne. All right, my next set of photos. I hope it's not getting too long for you guys.
No, we're good.
Just going to
For
go.
lots of time.
Just going over some of the seismic details that I showed you where the excavator was, right?
Yes.
This is a grid of how much was covered in this swamp. Every 2 foot, over 2,000 detonations to cover just the swamp. They did the same thing over the money pit, almost up to Fred Nolan's land and the latrine area. Thank you, Barbara. Thank you. Especially when they hit shafts. Yep. Yep, Tom, a freshwater spring keeps it going. Yep. Now, this is the grid they laid out. Like if I'm a surveyor, well, this is where we're going to go. And the guys, you go on these points, we'll label them up, and this is how we're going to map it. This is what they do, Judy.
Yes. Okay.
And here they are laying out a lot of plywood to put these chargers in the swamp. A lot of people say, well, what are these rows? Why are the weeds all in rows and everything? There must be something strange going on there. No, this is when they had to put this testing system in, and that's what happened. Look at that, Judy.
Yes. And you know, John, it was such a big, expensive job. It's sad they didn't get more out of it, really.
Well, what they got out of it was the seismic anomaly that looked like a ship. They put a drill system in the pond, which you would do, I would do if I had expense of owning the island and trying to find answers. And obviously, when they drilled the spot, they came up with nothing that I know of. Okay. Because
Yes.
otherwise, why are they drilling 30 foot off the road, access road, and not just digging up that whole anomaly? You know, Steve can set them up right on top of it with the GPS and just dig here. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because I think where they're digging now is not close to where they're showing the anomaly. They also showed an anomaly going from that area of the woods near lot 15, I think, to the money pit. So I don't know if a lot of people know that, but they showed this anomaly. It's called the highland because this part of the island obviously is higher than the other part. That red line, it showed the anomaly right there from them also. So people, a lot of them, they look at the ship anomaly, but I look at everything. Did you know this, Judy?
No, actually, I didn't.
Yep, Tom, I'm tired of it myself. But I wanted to put it in direction of where they're digging now. I hear you. And here's the drilling rig that everybody saw that they went out there, and let's go get it. You know what I mean, Judy? Let's go get it.
Yes, I remember that.
Now, here is Mercy Point, which is a very pinpoint site that Peter gave them to dig. That said there's something there, an entrance, a vault, or something. Why they didn't dig there, I have no idea. I always keep in touch with Peter, and he's a great guy. He always talks to me, and I mean, he's all burnt out from speaking about this stuff since 2003. So I don't blame him. It just gets tiring after a while. You know what I mean, Judy?
Yeah, it does. And I felt for Peter because they didn't do anything there. And why didn't they? Obviously, he really thought there was something there.
Right. He gave him the coordinates, Judy. And now that the swamp was drained about 5 times since he's been there, just go dig it out. Okay, here's the spot, GPS it, and dig it out. You know, with a permit, obviously. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yep, Gary. And Don Brents. I wonder if they're having permit issues. It could be. I have no idea. But I'm just saying, we know these points. They know these points. The researchers give them these points. But I have heard nothing about a dig at Mercy Point. Maybe they're saving it. I have no idea. And here's the full life circle here that he found stones, the Kingdom Stone, and all the rest of them that he found on the island when he was there. And here's my man, Peter. Even then, if you went back to the season 2 or 3, I don't know what it is, Judy, he had a steel rod, and he's saying there is stone in the ground.
Yes, he did, didn't he?
Years.
I think it was season 2.
A reason go. No, Virginia, Peter Arbinson. You're thinking about Corinne and Christopher Morford with the paintings. Yep, and that's why we're going to discuss the eye of the swamp in a little while. But Peter knew this stuff way back when, 2003, 2013. They're hitting stones all over, and I haven't heard a thing. Did you guys dig it out? I have no idea. And if you see that stick in the middle, wait till it comes up, Judy.
Yes, I see it.
That stick is Mercy Point. When the swamp was drained, right there, they're telling us, if you go back and watch the episode, that stick is Mercy Point, right there, sticking out right at you.
Okay.
All right, hold on, guys. There I am. I got so many pictures, guys, that I can't even find myself. How's that sound? This is
Not good.
this is as live as you can get. You know what I mean? This is as live as you can get. Anybody got any questions until we get into
Linda wants to know how close, I think she means, the Mercy Point is to the eye of the swamp.
no,
It's not far, is it?
not far at all.
It's just above it, is it not? Isn't the Mercy Point just above the eye?
Yep, just above. All right, you guys, we're going to get into the eye of the swamp. Yep, the two separate points. Yep. No, it's not also the Mercy Point is one spot. Eye of the swamp is another. All right, now we're going to get into the eye of the swamp. Ready, Judy?
Yes.
Dr. Spooner's explanation of the eye of the swamp. You know, there's all blue clay there. Perfect waterproofing. So what he's telling us here is, Judy, you see on the right is the bottom. It says bottom.
Yes, clearly. Yep.
That's the glacier.
Okay.
And it has disturbed. Then the lake, then the swamp. There should be no disturbed in a soil sample.
Okay.
Disturbed means disturbed. Somebody was disturbing it or excavating at that particular time. Let me say that one more time. Even though Aaron and Dr. Spooner said in the beginning, this seems to be like a blue clay mine. Do you remember that, Judy, or no?
Yes, clearly.
Yeah, they
And
said.
I questioned it then.
Yeah, I said, well, how the heck did they? Because of the amount of blue clay. And I remember them, I could not find the snippet or episode when Billy was trying to dig the eye of the swamp, the huge boulders he could not lift with the excavator. So I don't know if they stopped because of that or now that they have the swamp excavator. I have no idea. But the big thing here, Judy and members, is you see the bottom where it says bottom and then disturbed.
Right.
Why is it disturbed? Because somebody moved it. This is the eye of the swamp that is full of blue clay, which blue clay is waterproof.
And something was there.
Hi, Slickster. Thanks a lot. Hi, Gwen from Australia. Thanks for coming in. So that caught my eye right there. So that's why I'm going to go over this slow because they don't talk. I don't even know the last time they talked about the eye of the swamp. One.
Yeah, it's been a while. What a while.
Well, thanks, Jane, for coming in. I always appreciate you. Thank you so much. Here's a closer look at it. Like the glacier that's shown on the bottom, then the swamp. What happened in between? It's showing no soil. Equals disturbed.
Right.
And of course, we got to remember, he says the swamp was made in 1220 AD. And we'll discuss some dates that he has dated it. And also some samples that he took out of the swamp with his sampler. And I just find this fantastic. In the eye of the swamp. Not at the money pit, everything's disturbed and thrown all over the place. This is actually telling us a story.
So why haven't they dug there? That's my question.
This is the first sample. And it was dated 1600 to 1700 on this first sample. You're welcome, Rose. You're welcome. I confuse myself, so I don't know what I'm talking about half the time myself. This is the first sample dated 1600 to 1700. Don't worry about it, David. I'm long-winded tonight for some reason until I pass out. Yep, Annette, don't you think so? And this is the second sample, dated 1680 AD to 1700. It was a twig that came up in his sample. What the heck were they doing there in 1680 or 1600 to 1680 to disturb blue clay? 110 years before the money pit or the money thing was found.
So it had to be depositors.
Then they say the blue clay was used in the money pit to support the walls. That could have been done also. Are you up, Linda? But I think it's a game changer in the eye of the swamp. It just seems unbelievable. Yep, Gary. The blue mud would be perfect waterproofing for capping or plugging and opening. What is under all this blue clay? I don't want them to dig a pit 10 foot off the access road. This is where I want them to at least make an attempt. But then again, they're putting a cofferdam in on the lower southeast corner of the swamp. Maybe this is left towards the later parts of the programming. I have no idea. Yep, Linda, it was spring fed and in the eye, blue clay. Nothing grows in blue clay. What's going to grow in blue clay? You know what I mean, Judy? That's what I'm trying to tell people.
Right. I mean, there's no way that it's going to. Daniel said that there's a large-scale work of some sort done there.
And if we tie the blue clay into the paved area, were they mining blue clay? Well, you would see a pit left and a hole that would be tremendous. You know what I mean? If you're mining a blue clay mine and blue clay is waterproof, whatever you dig out, that hole's going to be still there or be filled in with debris or something. But that rest of that leftover blue clay around the edges will stay as like a big clay pot underneath the swamp. Am I right? Tom Burns, help me out. Tom Burns. Keep in mind, they found clay in Smith's Cove structures. Clay. Blue clay in the Smith's Cove structures. I don't know. I must be getting tired. It doesn't ring a bell. But we'll have to look into that, Tom. We'll have to look into that.
I think they did, John.
Yup, Don. Blue clay to seal the vault. Yup. Yes, Raynar. They also found mercury there. Yup. Yup, Kathy. Maybe the concern offer toxic gas. Maybe we don't know all the facts. Yeah, we never know all the facts. That's all we come up with questions. But at least give us a little touch on these little things. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So I think this eye of the swamp is a big deal here, as I do the Mercy Point. I think they're both connected in some way.
And perhaps Coney as well.
Here's where the eye of the swamp is. You see the red circle?
Yes.
That's the area that we were in. Just above that circle, let's see, above the circle to the left or to the right? Now I'm getting confused about the Mercy Point.
Yeah, it's above it. I think it's a bit right of it, John. I'm not sure, though.
Okay, Tom Burns says, blue clay putty of the 1600s. Right, thanks, Tom. Mary Louise, isn't mercury the preservation chemical for preserving paper? Yep. My man, main man, Jake Roberts, who's all about Francis Bacon. And don't forget to go see his channel, Ghost of Bacon. He just started last week. Let's give him some support. That's what they did. In a lead box, they would put the mercury in, put the documents in the mercury in the lead box, seal it, put that box in a wooden box, and seal it with whatever waterproofing things they had. And Gary, our miner, I like him coming in. Just for people to know, blue clay is commonly known as marine clay, found on coastal regions around the world. Yeah, like in Maine and everything else. They told me there's tons of blue clay there. And Gary, I thank you for your expertise. We have historians in here. We had one miner in here, but I wish you'd stay around to help us out on some of these mining fundamentals if you can. Thank you so much, Gary. Yep, Tom. That's what Bacon used. But just to show you what we're talking about, that's the eye of the swamp right now. We're not talking about the Mercy Point. Thank you, Gary. Thank you. Jersey Shore, yep. Blue clay all over. I mean, there's a closer picture. Why don't you guys think anything grows there? Do what you can do, Gary. I thank you so much. Because nothing will grow in blue clay. Plus, if it's spring fed, nothing really settles up to really grow on top or around. And Daniel says, Bacon wrote about preserving a body in mercury, preserving it perfectly.
Wow.
And then Don Bronze, isn't Bacon thought to be buried in a mercury-filled tomb there? We hear all kinds of things, Don. Could be anything. I leave everybody's interpretations open because, like Judy, I have no idea. They got me bouncing off the walls, and I have no idea what's going on anymore. Could be anything. You know what I mean, Judy?
Right. And I think it's amazing that the eye of the swamp, which is why they called it that, is at the top of the triangle of the swamp, just like the all-seeing eye is for the Masons. It's amazing that it's in the right spot.
Yep, a lot of coincidences, which equal a lot of questions again. You know what I mean, Judy?
Yes. Sure is.
And there's Dr. Spooner. He was on my program. Guest appearance. He said he had a blast. And like I said, I'm going to try to get all these guys back on at the end of the season so they can talk freely after the season 8 is done. But don't forget, when season 8 is done for us, they're starting up again. So their time is going to be more valuable than off season. You know what I mean, Judy?
Right on.
But we're going to try to get a roundup show on all these guys that have been on my show. Of course, if they want to, they're all invited. They need no invite. That's all they have to do is send me a PM and boom, we just go on. And they know that. So it'll be like a recap, like every Saturday on what the season meant to them and what they found, as long as they can talk about it. But then we know these things too, Judy. It's always ongoing. So when it's ongoing, they can't talk about much if it's ongoing.
Right, exactly.
Hi, Don from Reno. Thanks for coming in. And I want to thank everybody on the Facebook Quest side. I want to thank everybody on the YouTube side coming in tonight. I got Judy on the line. She did her synopsis. That'll be posted to the Quest of Oak Island Facebook page when I get off live a little while. And I thank you so much. We got another picture here. And this is where we came in to be 1220 AD. I don't know if a lot of people saw this picture. And there's the twig to the right. But this is how we determined the swamp was made in 1220 AD. You guys see that all right?
Yes.
Don Brett's the war room. Are you kidding me? I'm just a little guy with 72,000 members amongst a lot of groups. You never know who's going to come on. So in 1220, Linda, who was there in 1220 AD? Templars. That's the date of the Templars. The coconut fiber is the date of the Templars, the Freemasons, and everything else. You know what I mean, Judy?
Yes. They'll never convince me that the Templars weren't there. I truly believe they were there. So did Zena.
Yep. Yeah. And that's like Linda says. Well, who the heck was there in 1220? Well, go back in history and see who was active. And that's all you got to do. And that's how we tie in dates to the people that were there. We're not finding no treasure, but like you said, and I know it, we're finding history. We're finding things that how they lived there and stuff like that. Expendables will be great after a while. But this is how we tie everything in. Yep, Mary Louise, Templars had money, skill, and manpower. Yep. And Michelle also agrees with you that the Templars were there.
Thanks, Michelle.
Yep, and Daniel, our historian master, Templars are Vikings from Greenland. Yep, for sure. For sure. But of all places to land, I wouldn't want to land there. I would rather land in the Caribbean or Florida. Why the heck would I want to land on Oak Island and freeze to death? You know what I mean?
Right. I still question why my grandfather stopped here instead of going south.
Could be, Tom. Could be. Could be. But of all places to land and find that place, oh well, as the mystery continues, and it's ongoing. It's always ongoing. And also, I saw this picture. You know how Johnny's brain works. You know what I mean, Judy?
No, I don't, John.
And you see in the red, wait till it comes up, it says the marsh. The marsh equals the swamp.
Right.
But also, it says one other word, the dam.
Right.
To me, a dam is to regulate water or not. Am I correct?
Yes.
So could have the dam equal the paved area or the cobblestone road as a sort of a dam to control the water that goes in and out of the swamp? Go ahead, guys. I'll leave it to you on that one. What do you think of that one?
Oh, John, I think that's a good one. I had not thought of that.
What do you think of that one?
Anything's possible.
Nope. Daniel says the dam holds back water. But then I see somewhere, Daniel, in the old days, they had like a system that they can open these, not portable dams, but wooden levees to let water in and let water out and everything according to the tide.
Tom says it's Canada's ocean playground. Maybe they came on vacation.
Yeah.
Thanks, Tom.
No, that's where the swamp is, Linda. Where the dam is and the marsh, they're pointing out that's where the swamp is. But I'm saying, okay, what do we got in the swamp? Big paved area or big cobblestone paved area. 2 of them. Why would they put the dam? The marsh, okay, but why add the dam? You need a dam for what? Hold back water, don't hold back water and have a system. And Gary, it's very interesting to lift and lower ships like they would use in the canals of Europe. There were 2-way tidal dams, regulate the water flow. So that sort of piqued my interest when they said the dam. You know what I mean, guys?
Yes. I had not thought about that before, and I've looked at that map many times.
So that's one that I want my team, Daniel Spino, Tom Burns. It's not going to be exact, Don, because this is a trace of a trace of a trace of another trace of map. It could have came from the original, but things move during tracing, and it's not going to be in the exact spot. But to me, where that bend is with the marsh and pointed to the dam in front of that circle, we'll see if those big birds and big wood in the swamp area is not part of a dam system or debris from Smith's Cove. That's what I'm saying. And Maureen, the control of freshwater spring. But if they're showing there's mercury in there, how much of a drinking area could that spring be? You know what I mean, guys? You know what I mean, Judy?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, sea level was lower in the pathway, but when they referred to it as a dam lower, but what when the tide came in? The tide came in, they closed the doors. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
The tide went out, they opened the doors, or this dam. But I don't know if the dam, like Daniel says, was permanent, just to hold water in and hold water back from the bay, or it was a workable thing to go in and out. So we know the date from Spooner. Dr. Spooner was 1220. And the map was 11 something, I think, 1173. So pretty close, within 50 years or something like that. You know what I mean, guys?
Yes. Another question, John.
Well,
There it is.
Another question. I hear you. I hear you. Then we had it on our show. I don't know if I showed it about Aaron's connection to New Ross. Did I show that Friday?
Yes, I think you did.
Okay.
Yes.
All righty. So we went over and got through the Cannon debacle. So everybody knows where everybody stands on that. And Daniel could have been really able to regulate the water flow. Yeah. Yep, I hear you, Linda. I hear you. The Jersey lady, it would be helpful if the show would put a compass direction on maps or overhead photos and rendering. Yeah, the Jersey lady on YouTube. Thanks for that. Like I was telling Judy, I get lost. If they don't show me a direction or a point that I go off of, I don't know where they are. They could be in this roadway or pathway, right, Judy?
Right. I wish they would show us each time that they move something that where they're at exactly.
Or us old timers, put up a sign before you dig. Put a sign there. We're on the pathway. We're at 300 foot in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
No, it's a 460-foot pathway. I have no idea. Not unless when they got up to Fred Nolan's garage. Well, then you got your bearings. You know what I mean, Judy?
Yes, exactly.
And Tom Burns, my main man, dam acts like a check valve. Water only flows freely in one direction until you release it. Yep. So we're going to have to look into that. So now I'm going to put the phone number up because I'm getting exhausted. Let us know in chat if you want to call in and talk for a little bit. Judy will get off. And then she'll come back later on to say her goodbyes. But if we got a call, 1 or 2 calls we'll take for tonight on Saturday night. If not, then we're going to button it up. I thank you so much on the Quest of Oak Island Facebook page, and also want to thank my YouTubers on the Quest channel. Please help me out on the Quest channel on the YouTube side. I will be having T-shirts for sale in about 2 or 3 days to the people who joined my paid service. They'll get percentages off depending on the levels that you participated in. Of course, my lower level at 75 cents a week will have a go at T-shirts, but at 100%. That won't be available to anybody else but cast members and special people. And that's sort of the perks of being on the paid site. This is not really a big money-making opportunity, but this is just something that we go forward with. It's not for everybody, and I would appreciate if you take a look at it on the YouTube side. Hit the join button, but look what's available, and we can go from there. I thank you so much for your cooperation.
Thank you, Wanda.
And we'll be on this Tuesday, pre-show, 7 o'clock, because there are going to be very few pre-shows left. We're getting down to the end here. So that's a sad thing, but it'll be all right. Like I said, this Tuesday night pre-show.
John, can I say something? I was sitting here thinking, it sounds like we've been really hard on the fellowship tonight and on the show, but I think it's a good thing for them to hear where we're at. You know, we still love these guys immensely, and I hope they're listening, and maybe they will do something about some of the things that's bothering us.
Judy and members, I'll tell you a little insider. Don't tell nobody, okay? It's only between me and you, okay, Judy?
Okay, John.
I do see and connect with some people who are involved with the show that know and see higher ups. They do appreciate, which they never had before without this internet craziness, instant feedback. What I mean by instant feedback is, boom, you got a show on Tuesday in the USA. By 10 p.m. that night, Eastern time, we're already telling them, hey, this show stunk. This is not good. Oh, this is fantastic. Show more of this. Nope, this was bad. Nope. Never in my wildest dreams that I would think people would want instant feedback. But they do. They rely on us. Not only my group, but probably lots of groups together. And this is what I like. We got interaction with those people with instant feedback. But don't forget, this was filmed last year. So we only can proceed what our feelings and what we want to see for the next season. You know what I mean, Judy?
Yes, exactly. So let's hope that they've listened, and maybe this coming year will be a little bit better.
Yeah, so they would get our input, our instant feedback, not only from my group, but all the rest of the Oak Island groups, and there's a lot of them out there. And just have one guy do the social media watch for a little bit, and then give it to the executive producer. Because I'm pretty sure if Rick heard all the stuff that's going on, I'm pretty sure he would say something. Because I know Rick.
I would think so.
I mean, I don't know Rick, but I'm just saying his mannerisms would be, hey. And I'm pretty sure when they see this show on Tuesday nights, they have to be shaking their head. Also, like, what are you guys showing these guys, or what's going on here? But they have no say on what's shown in the show. They see it on Tuesday nights the way we see it on Tuesday nights. Okay, Tom, enjoy your mug. Thank you very much. All right, I'm going to take the phone number off, Judy, and you can say your goodbyes once I take the phone off, and then I'll say my goodbyes, and I thank you for tonight. Go ahead, Judy.
Okay, guys, have a good week. I will certainly be here next Saturday night, and I'll do my synopsis up for you as usual. And thank you very much for all of your comebacks to me. It means a lot. And everybody stay safe, please, and that includes you, John.
Okay, thank you, Judy. I'm going to hang up now.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye. All right, gang. We said our spiel. We said it out in public. I stand by my statements. So we move on. And like I'm saying, remember, always go forward. You may get a setback, but always go forward. Believe in your dreams. No matter how old you are, go for it. Stay positive. Be healthy. Be mentally strong. If you can't, get help. There's a lot of help out there. Stay safe. And good night. We'll see you Tuesday pre-show at 7 o'clock. Anything else that comes up, I'll post it in my group. I thank you guys so much. You guys are fantastic. You guys are just above fantastic. I thank you all. Thank you so much. And good night. We'll see you Tuesday at 7.